Our subject is the Antichrist, an alternative view. What we're going to explore is the possibility, at least, that there may be a very widespread myopia regarding the subject of the Antichrist that we too have fallen into. And so we're going to try to stand back from our presuppositions of the past and try to let the text speak to us. And if we're correct, we may come up with some real surprises, quite a different perspective from the very commonly presumed scenario for the end times. So let's just start backwards a little bit. We all talk about Armageddon, that climactic battle at the end of the age, getting its name, of course, from Revelation 16:16. He gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon, which is Armageddon or Mount Megiddo, if you will. And that's a literal place on the planet Earth. In fact, if you take the planet Earth and zero in to a particular piece of real estate called Israel, you'll discover there is a place that you can visit called Megiddo, overlooking a valley, the valley of Jezreel. On the opposite side of that valley is the city of Nazareth up on the hill. It's kind of interesting that from Megiddo you see Nazareth. When Jesus was being raised as a child, he would look across that valley and see Megiddo. And you wonder, you can't help but speculate, how much did he know as a child? Most scholars presume that he came into his full knowledge at his baptism, but who knows? But the Valley of Jezreel, there really isn't a Battle of Armageddon, by the way. That's what we all speak of it. Armageddon has a relationship to Jerusalem that England did to the Normandy invasion. In other words, it's the gathering place. And but the target, of course, is Jerusalem. And all of us have seen the little maps in prophecy books, which talks about the sequence of the Battle of Armageddon, which is actually detailed in Daniel 11. It starts by a push by the kings of the south against a king of the north. We usually see the European Confederacy coming in, and everything's going swimmingly until the kings of the east are on the horizon. And it's commonly envisioned as a four-power conflict. And setting aside for the moment who the kings of the south and kings of the north are, these are all idioms from Daniel chapter 11. The question is, where do we find this Western Confederacy in Daniel 11? If you look, you won't find it there. It's an inference we draw because we know from other passages that the Antichrist comes from the Roman Empire. And out of this come all kinds of conjectures that the Antichrist is a Western European-based leader, and we're going to explore that. If you look at Daniel 11, we'll discover that there isn't a Western Confederacy as such. But let's step back all the way to the beginning. The earliest civilizations are generally recognized as having started in what we call the Fertile Crescent: Egypt, Assyria, and Babylonia.